After 1 years, the DTM is back at Sachsenring, and the winner is Luca Stolz. First victory of the 2023 season. Second victory in DTM for Luca. Second victory for Mercedes-AMG this season. We have our second-place driver, Thomas Preining, who is also the old and now new championship leader of DTM, and third place to Ayhancan Güven. Luca, congrats. That was a demonstration today from you.
Yeah, I would summarize it as a perfect day, probably, with pole position and a victory. Yeah, the boys and girls and the HRT team just did an outstanding job. They prepared a really good car. But yeah, at this track, I think qualifying is almost everything, because as soon as you have dirty air, you kill the tire in sector 2, sector 3. So the quali is always quite tricky. But as I said, perfect day for us, and I'm happy to celebrate a little bit today.
Since 2016, the Sachsenring proved to be a very strong track for the Mercedes-AMG GT3, but today your car looked perfect. So what was the secret behind that we are so quick?
Yeah, I think it's having the right grip at the right time with no traffic on track, which I had this morning. I could put every sector in one lap, and this was the key thing. And then for the race, we already knew that the Mercedes is quite good on tire deck, especially with the rear. And yeah, just a good race for us.
But tell us what happened in the opening lap, because after lap 1, you had a 2-second lead on Chan, so that was a mega start.
Yeah, definitely. Was just good. Like, I went and then I had huge grip, and I tried to create a gap as fast as possible, because pit stop is always a critical point where something can go good or bad. So it's always good to have a gap if something goes wrong. This was the goal today, and I think I managed quite well. And then I had the radio message that there was huge debris on track, but when I passed it was not that big.
Not that huge.
But yeah, on this track you get a lot of pickup doing safety car, so it's never easy. But with clean air, our car was just mega.
In the later part of the race, Thomas closed the gap a little bit by 1 second, so it was 2 seconds. Then you were in front, but you could immediately fight back and keep him a little bit more distance. So you had everything under control?
Yeah, more or less. It's never easy. When the engineer tells you to push a little bit more and you're already flat out, then it's never easy. But yeah, it was just about surviving today. Make no mistake, keep the focus up, which is also not super easy. But yeah, everything went well.
It's quite hot today outside, and Sachsenring is a physically challenging track, but you look quite fresh.
Yeah, good cooling in the car for sure. And I have to say, at the test day, I struggled a little bit with my neck, but today it was all fine, so it was probably a good training.
Okay, thank you, Luca. Then moving over to Thomas. Thomas, congrats, another podium for you in the 2023 DTM season, and you got back your championship lead. You should be happy with that?
Definitely. The smile on my face, I think, says it all. It was a really good day. Super tough race for me personally, and for the whole team. I mean, on this track, strategy, management, tire change is so crucial, and you need to get all of these things correctly, on top of having a good starting position, driving well, not crashing, not making any mistakes. So in order to even finish on the podium, or even finish, is not so easy, and to just get beaten by Luca, I think, is definitely a good day at the office.
The Sachsenring was traditionally in the past not in the GT Masters especially not a track for Porsche, but with two podium positions today, the car is doing quite well after you struggled a lot at the last round at Lausitzring.
Yeah, I think after Lausitzring it's quite good that this track fits us better. In general, the car just feels extremely good, like on rails. For sure, we have tire deck and we struggle, especially when you have to push 110% the whole race. But in the end, I'm super happy. For sure, also the new car, because this year we had a new generation, is definitely a step forward on this track, especially in Sector 2, which has normally always been where we were lacking. So I definitely see an improvement, and I'm just very glad that we managed to do such a clean race. Just on cold tires, especially after the pit stop and after the start as well, Luca was just in his own category, kind of. He did the same at Lausitzring. It's incredible what he can do on cold tires. He's the only one in the whole paddock, I think. So big hats off for this, because we've been studying it, and obviously we didn't find anything.
Okay, maybe you ask him again in a quieter moment if he tells.
Maybe if he's celebrating tonight after 1 or 2 beers, he will tell me.
He will tell you. Yeah, we will see. Did you really mount an attack on him in the second part of the race, or you set for second place because of the championship positions?
Through and through, full-blood race driver. I would never settle for second if it's possible to win. So, in the end, I was trying my best to close the gap, but I couldn't. I was really pushing as much as possible, and they were just too quick.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. Then moving to Ahanjan. So congrats, back on the podium after 2 weekends to forget at Nürburgring, at Lausitzring. So you must be quite happy to be back on the podium.
Yeah, inside I always feel I perform good, but last 2 weekends was not how we hoped there. But yeah, finally we are where we want to be, fighting in the front of the grid. And yeah, today was a good day for the team.
You started second, but finished third. So what was the final thing missing on that position?
Yeah, in the beginning there was a gap to Thomas, but then after safety car, everyone was close. So, and from that moment, it was a risk on the pit stop. And yeah, in my pit, the other team before us have the tires outside, so I lose a lot of time entering the pit, and also the Manthey team have a little bit quicker than us on the pit, I guess, because as soon as I'm out of the pit, I see Thomas overtook me, so I don't have any opportunity. Then from that moment, I just focus on my race. I see Audis behind are quicker. I check my mirrors, and every time I look, I see 2 Audi getting closer. So I was just hoping that they are not getting too close at the end, because there is nothing on the tank. I just try to copy what Thomas doing on the track, and at the end, pace was great, and Luca have mega race also. Congrats to him.
But the gap to the Audi pack, to the upped Audis were big enough, so there was no real danger from behind, or you had.
To be honest, I never see them in my mirror, and last 10 lap I see them, so for sure they come closer. But I don't know from where they come, if they catch 5 seconds or only 1 second. I just see nothing in my mirror, and suddenly I start to see them in before, like when I go uphill in the start-finish line, I see going up also them. So I don't know from where they come, but when it's 12 laps to go and I see new cars on the mirrors, for sure it's not a good sign. I ask my engineers, let me know when the gap is closer, because I don't want to watch them so often. And at the end they told me, yeah, okay, like last 5 laps we just managed the tires, because last year I have puncture here in GT Masters, and I started thinking about it during the race. I don't want the same end. I want podium for the first time this season. So yeah, at the end we make it.
How was the tire situation during the race today?
To be honest, I don't know. They feel good, but also last year when I have punctured, they were feeling good. Here I think you never know when you will have them, because there was so much stress in Sector 2, where we load so much the rear tires and the top of the turn 10. So I was praying. For sure, I was not using the curbs to save them, but also I was praying to nothing happen. Because I miss already podium 5 times really closely, and this time I don't want something like this happen. So I was just praying in the car for the race to finish without any problem.
Mercedes AMG was a clear favorite coming to Sachsenring this weekend, and Luca fulfilled that. But did you expect the Porsche to be that fast here, like we saw today?
I will say yes, because the new car is a good step for Sachsenring in Sector 2, the high-speed corners. But still, we know the Mercedes was favorite, and today, if you look quali, for me, I put all the sectors together, and when you look optimal, I'm like P8. So I just managed to put the lap and stay in the front with the dirtier track. And when it's dirtier game, when you're in the front, is a big advantage. So then we are in the safe side after quali.
Okay, thank you, Can. Then, are there any questions from the floor? Sven.
Okay. Congrats to you guys. Question for Luca. Thomas was very puzzled and surprised how you managed to put the tires up to temperature. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. I will not tell it. That would be quite stupid.
But do you have a special trick?
No.
Okay. Question for all three of you guys. Is the Sachsenring for you, is it a must-have in the calendar after the first time now in DTM? And did you manage to do the triple left-hander? Did you manage to do it flat out in qualifying?
No, triple left was not flat for me. Sachsenring for me, it's a really cool track. I mean, overtaking is really, really hard, but for sure, you always call it a cool track when you win. But yeah, for me, it's one of the highlights in the calendar because really a driver track, and track limits are defined by the gravel and not by white lines, which I quite like. So yeah, quite cool.
If it's
Thomas?
a must-have on the
Yes.
calendar, I think I'm in a really good mood compared to last weekend. So for sure, I will say whatever you want. I love it here. It's amazing.
Yeah, I believe it's must-have for sure for racing. It's not super easy with a lot of high corners, but I think this is the most fun for qualifying laps in the calendar. We have so much fun on the car, and yeah, every night you go bad, you imagine to do next lap flat in triple left, but I think it will never happen.
Thomas, triple left, flat out?
I tried at the test last week, but I had a very small moment.
Okay. One more for you, Thomas. As far as I understand, you have, I think, 2 reprimands. Is that something that is in the back of your mind also, driving a little bit more careful also in battles, also in terms of the title fight?
It's nothing additional. Anyway, you try to keep it clean, no matter how many reprimands you have, no matter what track it is, no matter who you're racing against. You always try to stay contact-free and without any stuff like this. So in the end, it changes nothing. For sure, getting a third one would be bad news for us, but it's the same game for everybody. You need to conduct yourself and stay within the rules.
Any more questions from the floor?
First of all, congrats to all three of you. I think because the question was put on you, if you would have this in the next calendar again, I think it's always a pleasure coming here because the people, the fans are so enthusiastic. Do you catch that in the car or anywhere in the paddock?
Absolutely. I mean, the pit walk today was amazing. I think it was one of the best ones of the year, definitely. But combined everything, including 24-hour races and Bathurst and everything, it's very special here. They're really supportive, especially of our team. From what I've seen, it's great to feel that, and like I said, I mean the track in itself is great too. It's good that it's on the calendar again next year, and it's nothing negative that comes to my mind.
Yeah, same for me. Like even track marshals come to me and ask for a signature, and you have a lot of passionate people who have model cars with them, which you have to sign, and they always knew you did the first race for you was 2016, and they always knew the results. So yeah, they're really passionate. So I always enjoy coming here.
Yeah, same. I think as soon as we have the fans on the track, we should go there. So today atmosphere was great. Thank you.
Any more questions? No, then thank you guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the afternoon and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you.